morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. How you doing out there? Yeah, well, hey, one more day and then it's Friday. I'm adjusting my camera here. And, of course, then the weekend and then, what is it? I think next weekend's Father's Day as the dog days of summer are just starting to get here. It's finally going to get hot here in the Valley of the Sun. It's been, you know what, no complaints out of me so far this year, but all good things must come to an end. The triple digits are arriving, and we'd all know what that means. 4 or 5 months of it probably. But, hey, you know what? You can't always have it the way you want it all the time. Or can you? If you call 800-951-0592 and get your gold and silver put away, things look really good. A breakout. We've been warning you about the breakout that was looking like it was coming in silver. It is here. Platinum, boy, how lucky were we? You know, platinum's not we don't do a lot of platinum, palladium, I've done rhodium like twice in my life because it's super, super hard to get, but I want to say, I think I sold rhodium. Are you ready for this? I think it was like $500 or $600. It's 5,000. It got to like 30,000. I mean, it was absolutely insane. We did some palladium. I sold the first time I sold palladium. I think it was like $150, $200. Then, you know, palladium went crazy. And then a couple of years ago, remember I told you a couple of years ago, sell your palladium. Palladium was like $1,900. And buy the platinum. Well, the good part was palladium did what I thought. It crashed. Platinum just kind of stayed there. Well, until today. And then, of course, what was it? Last month? We got all this platinum in. You guys took advantage of it. It has been, well, let's just say both silver and platinum breaking out today. Gold is sitting right there. It actually crossed 3,400. TV gold is above 3,400. But get ready. We had jobless claims out higher than expected. 247,000. I was a little surprised. I actually thought it'd go down a little bit. I thought no, a little bit higher. Didn't get above 250. But again, even, you know, perspective here. Yes, that's a lot higher than we've been used to, say, over the last 3 or 4 years, right? Okay. Yeah, but not in I wouldn't call it in the danger zone yet, right? So we'll keep watching. It's getting closer to that, but 247,000 that had the markets on edge. Gold was like 33.95, 33.97. And then there was an announcement of a phone call between Xi Jinping of China and President Trump this morning, which is, it got gold off a little bit. Not a lot. I mean, gold's still right there. But the cool part was silver didn't care. Platinum didn't care. These breakouts have legs here. So everybody buckle up. It is going to be quite the ride. It took a while. It took a while for Donald Trump to post anything about the call. And I think that's indicative of probably wasn't the greatest call, but let's put the best spin possible. So the call broke first in China's state-run media. The president, about 15 minutes ago, finally responded, out on Truth Social. said that the call was to remove negative measures to reduce misunderstandings. The president saying that they concluded a very good phone call with discussing some of the recently ramped up, right? Remember, Trump tried to broke the deal and tried to know you broke the deal. Put some more, Trump saying no visas for Chinese students, right? China kind of slow walking rare earths. They were saying that they were trying to reduce those misunderstandings and said the call was about 90 minutes, or was a long call. There should no longer be any questions respecting the complexities of rare earth. So that was, I guess, the one highlight out of that. And both presidents invited the other president to come visit. I don't know that either one said they were going to visit, but hey, you can come here, and then, no, well, you can come here. I don't think they're coming. By the way, no talk concerning the Russia, Ukraine, or Iran. So this was solely a phone call, I guess, to maybe, Jason, ratchet down the tension of the last week or so. But I don't know. We'll take it, right? Anything to ratchet down some tensions, I guess we'll take it. But it wasn't one of those great phone calls that the president likes to brag about. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Thursday. Quick look in here. The Dow's up 70. Not a lot, but, hey, we'll take it, right? The S&P's up 15, right back around that 6,000 level. I thank NVIDIA for that one there. The NASDAQ up 97. The 10-year note, kind of interesting because it was giving ground after yesterday's bad jobs number. Gave more ground after today's higher-than-expected jobless claims, and then gave it all back. Right now, 4.4 on the 10-year note. I guess the bond market's like, wait a minute, if you're going to fight less with China, then rates are going to go a lot higher. I don't know. We'll see. Crude oil's higher today, up 73 cents. The gold and silver markets, gold's down $1. Like I said, gold's been as high as $34.04, but right now, $33.75. Silver is up $1.25 at $35.75. Platinum up 40 at $1,130. And again, I'm going to lay it out for you, as I try to do all the time. And I'm not going to yell and scream. I should. I want to grab you all by the throat right now. I do. Because you're not getting it. This doesn't end well. I want it to. I do. But it doesn't. And it's easy. It's not even complicated. Here's the latest. Ready? Donald Trump and Elizabeth Warren. Okay, you know Elizabeth Warren, right? Pocahontas, right? Right. She was part Indian until she wasn't, right? They agree on one thing. You know what it is? Let's just get rid of the debt ceiling altogether. Yep. I'm very pleased to announce, President Trump said, that after all of these years, I agree with Senator Elizabeth Warren on something. The debt limit should be scrapped. to prevent an economic catastrophe. Here's the funny thing. Do you know why they put the debt limit in? To prevent an economic catastrophe. What the debt limit was, hey, let's set this number up because, again, this is when the central banks really took control. You know, most people don't realize the United States, for pretty much almost 200 years, the first 200 years, ran budget surpluses and budget deficits. And there was really only twice that we had any really bad debt. Well, I guess 3 times. The Civil War, which things were so cheap then, that number looks tiny today. But World War I and World War II. Seriously. Do you know that in 1971, the debt was $400 billion. Almost all of it was World War II and Lyndon Johnson, right? The Great Society, right? The other part of it was left over from World War I. You know, most people don't know that after World War II ended, we ran as many budget surpluses as we did budget deficits. See, I grew up, so I was born in 1970. I have grown up in an era where there's no such thing as a budget surplus. Right? They give Bill Clinton credit, for a year or two? But that wasn't a real surplus because they just spent the Social Security money and pretended it was right. That was what I'll call a paper surplus. No, we didn't have those gimmicks back in all the first 200 plus years of this country. It's a true story. Matter of fact, the last time we ran a trade surplus was it 1972? Maybe 1973, something like that. That was the last trade surplus America has ever run. It's interesting, isn't it? Then they created this debt ceiling. I want to say it was in the 90s. They started to get a little worried, right, about, And what it is just a way for Congress to okay, guys, maybe we should at least talk about this. Maybe, are we doing the right thing? Right, that's really what the debt limit's all about. So right now, you guys we're in emergency measures. We don't even know what the debt is, right? They won't even, I don't even know why we pretend, but okay, fine. We know it's somewhere closing in on $38 trillion. That's all we know. But now they're getting to the point where they don't want this anymore because guess what? It makes the news. You guys hear about it. Right? Think about it right now. How great would it be if there was no debt limit going off? Well, we would know what the debt is. That'd be great. But, Jason, they could just keep going on and doing what they're doing and not have to, oh, my gosh, we're at the debt ceiling again. And, of course, now the president has decided, I think smartly, hey, let's not do $4 trillion. Let's do $5 trillion because, that'll give them an extra, 90 days, maybe 120 days, right, of debt to go. But that's how bad it is. Here's what we know. We know the budget deficit is going to blow up even worse than it is now. I don't know about the big, beautiful boy, Elon Musk. I don't know. Tesla stock's down 5% today. Because now he's saying, kill the bill, Jason. I don't know, maybe he's trying to warm back up to the lefties because maybe he's thinking, hey, at least the guys on the right won't firebomb and desecrate the Teslas out there. And he's trying to make up with the left. I don't know. But either way, all of you out there sitting on your hands right now are going to regret it because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Okay, ready? Gold's going to be $4,000, $900,000. Wall Street's going to start crashing. Then when is that going to be? Is it going to be this year, next year, year? I don't know. One of them. Pick it. And then you're going to panic buy. Right now is the time to do it before that happens. Because you know what panic buying does? You guys remember COVID, right? Remember COVID? Remember, I'll tell you this. I'll give you another great example. The financial crisis panic buy. You were buying gold, and gold at the time, listen, was $600,000, $700,000, $900,000. And you were literally buying it for $200, $300, $400 over spot at $700, $800, $900. COVID, what was it, $400, $500 over spot, and this spot was like $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. You're gonna call. That I know, because you've done it for 30 years. I can't emphasize enough, Jason, this may be the last year, probably the best time to buy gold in the 20-plus years I've been doing this, because the spreads are tight. You're able to buy it really super close to spot. And the best part is the fundamentals. It's almost like people are having a hard time coming up with any scenario where they actually see the price of gold going down. I mean, same thing with silver, right? It's very hard to imagine it happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much selling still going on. Joe and I, we do this every day, and there's still so many people selling. And that's what keeps those premiums down, right? Because we buy from some pretty big guys, and they're still getting a lot of product, but the price is staying high, which means somebody up high is buying it. They're pressuring us down here to sell it off. And so that keeps the premiums down. And at some point, that'll stop. At some point, that'll we'll go back to a couple of years ago. What were we selling? Silver Eagles for $18 over spot. I remember we went on the air one day because we just wanted more stuff to sell. It was like, we'll pay you $10 over spot if you just get us Silver Eagles. Well, right now, we're like at spot to buy Silver Eagles because the premiums are so low. And so the people coming in to sell those are like, oh my gosh, how come I'm not getting more? It's like, well, because if we don't sell it to someone, we have to send it to these guys. And who are they sending it to? The guys that are pushing the prices way up there, 3,500 gold, 35 silver going to 36 silver, going to 40 silver, going to 50 silver. So obviously, if you bought silver a couple of years ago, you're way ahead no matter what you sell it for. But what we're trying to impress upon you right now is when silver goes, it's going to go fast. You're not going to want to be selling it. You're going to want to be buying it and buying it now. Because, Joe, what happens if silver moves and then the selling stops and the people at the top get to at least a comfortable spot where, okay, I think we have enough, or at least we're doing better. Then those premiums go up. Can you imagine if silver shoots off to like $45 an ounce and we're selling Silver Eagles, let's say, for $10 over, $55? What's a roll of Silver Eagles at $55? What is that? Over $1,000.
$1,100.
$1,100 rolls of Silver Eagles. That actually could happen in this calendar year because silver doesn't really have a lot of resistance above 40 and it has no track record above 50. So if it goes to 40, then blows up to 50, and if it decides to push past, let's say it goes to 51 or 52, you could see $60 or $75 silver very quickly. And everyone's been waiting around for it. You hear all the guys, all the pundits, silver, the pro silver guys talking about it. Well, it will happen. Everyone knows it can happen, and it probably will. Joe, we don't know how fast, right? This thing could move tremendously fast.
Well, here's the thing. Really, there's not a lot of track record above 35. And let me explain it to you. So go back to after the financial crisis. So this is 2009, 2010, 2011. Remember quantitative easing and all of that nonsense. Silver went on this just rip your face off rally. It went from like $20 to $50, and it felt like seconds. It wasn't seconds, but it felt like seconds, right? Very quick. And then they changed the margin requirements on Wall Street, did a bunch of, tricks. And, of course, the economy, right, started to recover. Silver went down, so at 50 in 3 days. Down lock limit, $5 on one day, five went down $15 in 3 days. Right back to $35. And then kind of sat there before going all. What did silver end up going all the way back to? Did it go to 12?
Something like
14,
that, yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah,
I mean, it went...
2015.
Right. So this is why I've been... How long have I been talking? $35. $35. We don't know, but very easily can mean 50 quickly. We'll be back. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Thursday. U.S. Silver Eagles, rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles, $845. I'm going to put them on sale. $830 for rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. 5-ounce silver bars, $200. That's the highest they've been since we started carrying 5-ounce silver bars at $200. Rolls of dimes, $140. $50 rolls at $280. Silver quarters, $275. $20 gold pieces, $35.95. I'll say this: tomorrow will be another big day. Right, because we get the government jobs number. And again, I've been wrong this week. Is it going to be a lower number? Yes. Is it going to be? I don't think it's going to be below 100,000. But if it is, right, look for even higher prices. That's kind of where things are shaping up right now. And again, this whole China deal thing, none of it matters. It doesn't. I wish it did. Doesn't. Why? Because there's only one thing that matters now. The bond market's the only thing that matters. What type of a bill are we going to get? How bad is it going to be? And when you look at what's been going on, once again, central banks, the driving force, according to the latest data out, Bloomberg saying central banks added 80 tons monthly. 80 tons a month is what the central banks have been adding. And Jason, it just doesn't stop. I remember when they first started doing this 3 years ago, and they said the same thing. Oh, well, once gold gets over 2,000, they're going to buy less. Right? Then, when it gets over 2,500, they're going to buy less. When it gets over 3,000, they're going to buy less. They're not buying less. Matter of fact, here's the latest survey results are out. So remember, they survey these central banks. Now, the problem is they don't survey them all. Or they just don't respond. Of the 72 central banks that responded to the survey in January, more than a third of them said that they planned on purchasing additional gold in 2025. 0 intended on selling any gold. 0. And Bloomberg is speculating that the 80 tons monthly is an understatement, and that some of these banks are deliberately not reporting that they're buying gold. This is something where, again, we speculated for this for a long time, Jason. But why am I pointing this out? Why am I bringing this up? Because you guess what? They don't care about any trade deal. They don't care about the trade war. They don't care about, you know what, the big, beautiful bill. I think they do care about that a little bit. Because they all know, right? They all know, okay, right? We're just going to go for stupid, right? Elon Musk knows. Trump knows. Listen, I want Elon, right, where he's at Rand Paul. Yeah, we should definitely cut spending by a buttload. But I also know what's going to happen. Right? So why not play it out at this point, Jason? And this is what they're going to do. They're going to play this thing out. They're going to print. Gold's going to 10,000, period. Silver, $100 plus, and everything's going to cost a fortune. That's what it's going to be, and then we're going to get the new money. I think everybody just needs to accept it.
Well, after all, it's just currencies, right, Joe? When it comes to gold, it's how many ounces. So if you know where the currency versus the ounces is going, you know, Joe's been talking in the last couple of months, this bank says this price, this bank says that price. Well, I don't think these banks really know gold and commodities as well as they know the debt money system. So somebody is handing them some sheets of paper saying this is where the gold is. Well, as a banker or anybody who invests, if someone hands you a paper and says, okay, gold's going to be at, you know, $7,000 an ounce at the end of 2026, then it doesn't matter if it's $3,500 or $4,000 or even $4,500, right, Joe? You're going to keep buying it because someone slipped you a piece of paper that says it's going to be this certain price. The currencies don't matter. We price everything in dollars. That's how they get us all trained, right, Joe? We're all trained in currency, the dollar number for something. But when it comes to actual assets, you got to judge the asset versus another asset. And when you judge it versus dollar, it's conflated, right, Joe? If you are in the know and you know where something's going, the currency number doesn't matter at all. You can totally fool the average guy. And we're talking about, you know, where's this headed? How rough are things going to get? It's about lower standard of living. As long as the people of the world, and of course for us in America, continue to accept a lower standard of living without revolting, then they're going to get richer and richer. And it looks like right now gold and commodities is the next place to go, because I think we're in a rate hike cycle over the next 20 to 40 years. We're not going to see rates drop dramatically for good. If Trump and the Fed drop the rates here pretty soon, I don't think it's going back down to 1 or 2.
No, not a chance. Not a chance at all. That's a great point, Jason. You know, think about this, from 1980 to essentially, 2022? Well, maybe 2020. We were in a rate down cycle. Right? We went from 16% to 0. I think Jason absolutely nailed it here. We are probably in a 40-year up cycle. Do we go from 0 to 16 to 20% again? That's what the pattern says. We'll see. Patriot Radio News Hour. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason. U.S. Silver Eagles at $1.30. 5-ounce silver bars, $200 as the silver triangle, the breakout that we've been talking about is here. We've got, I'll say this. I think that phone call, the announcement of the phone call between Xi Jinping and President Trump probably saved this from being worse. It probably saved silver from being 37, 38 even. Saved gold from 3,400 today. Tomorrow's jobs number, we'll see. That's going to be, I think, the ultimate driving force behind all this. And again, I've been wrong all week. I think that the jobs number, it's going to be lower, but I still think it's going to be over 100,000. So we'll see. If I'm wrong on that, then we'll probably see even higher prices than I think. But get in 800-951-0592. They took a little profit out of gold here in the last 10 minutes. So guess what? $20 gold piece is back to yesterday's price. $35.75. $35.75. Take advantage. 800-951-0592. So one of the things that I want to point out in the big, beautiful bill, it's front-loaded with spending, back-loaded with savings. What does that mean? Pretty smart, actually. That means the guy after Donald Trump will have to deliver the savings part, which we know isn't happening, right? So it's going to be even worse because how they're doing this is, they like to say, well, over 10 years it's going to add blah 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 to the deficit. Well, how do they do that? Well, first, we'll have really rosy projections. Second, we'll make all the savings part of it come later, right? And then the next guy, he can just scrap it all, right? And you end up with no savings. That's what happens every time, right, Jason? I mean, the government, they do, and it's not, listen, this is not a Trump original here. This is what they do all the time when they introduce these bills that they never say how bad it really is going to be, but they also know, hey, we're not actually going to look at the Trump tax cuts. Those were supposed to expire. So the last big bill, that was why the deficit wasn't going to go sky high when they passed that one. But now look at it, right? And of course, now do they want the taxes to go back up? Hell no, they don't want it to go back up. Do you really think they're going to cut Medicare and Medicaid and cut the size of government and all that stuff? Jason, it's not going to happen. And everybody knows it except the people that are dumb enough to believe the nonsense they're hearing.
It's a debt money system, and until they change the way the system's run, you got to increase the debt to increase the so-called growth. Growth being more for one class and less for everybody else. And so if you're not loaning the money out, you're not doing so good. If you're not hoarding up assets, you're not doing so well. So, yeah, they're going to pump up all these social programs. These social programs, the Doge was doomed to fail from the minute they walked in. The only drama about Doge was how is it going to look? Was Musk going to react to it? Was he going to play along, and string us along for a long period of time? Is he still stringing us along? Is he playing 3D chess, saying, "Hey, I was here to be responsible, and the government can't do it"? Is he trying to, give himself some kudos by, I was going to do it, but they wouldn't let me? I mean, none of that all matters. Just show. What matters is social programs will get more money, the military will get more money, interest on the debt. By the way, who do we borrow it from? We borrow it from the Fed. They get more money. And we have to struggle to work an extra job and put extra time and effort and find extra babysitters for the kids, because not only do you need them during the summer now, but you need them for, well, I'm working 3 jobs, so I need a babysitter to come in the morning, and then I have my afternoon, nighttime babysitter to come for the rest of the day, because I'm going to spend no time with my family. That's because people are playing in a game and they don't even know that they're in the game, Joe. That's what the Patriot Trading Group's been. It's giving you a rule book, trying to help you understand that there's a game being played. And if you're not playing it, then if you're not worried about your money, somebody else will be worried about it, Joe.
Yeah. One of Eric's favorite expressions: if you're playing in a card game and you don't know who the patsy is, it's you, and that's what's happening right here. 800-951-0592. Take the time, continue to add. Listen, and as we've been educating you now, what are we telling you now? New money's coming. It's coming. Digital currencies are coming. Banking as we know it is going to go away. There's 4,000 banks, and I'm just telling you, most of them are not solvent. Sorry. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's unfair. In the next 5 years, most of them will not be solvent. And that's just a fact. And they're all going to go away. The question is, are you going to have your money go away with it? Or are you going to do something to protect it? That's it. It's the only question. 800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. U.S. Silver Eagles at $830 a roll. As silver has broken out today. 5-ounce silver bars at $200 at 800-951-0592. $20 gold pieces, $35.75. But Jason, I'll just say this: we've been talking a lot about Texit and how we feel this is going to be. Is this the second coming of Bitcoin? I want people to just understand how fast this thing is growing. For those of you that have already signed up, I hope you've joined the Telegram page. Bobby was out showing the offices at Texit yesterday and all the people there, and they're just overwhelmed. They're overrun, and they're actually out right now trying to find more office space because they need to hire 20 more people, and they just don't have the room. So, is there growing pains in it? Yep. But it's the good kind of pain you like to see. And I always say, you know what? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. I just read yesterday. Guess what? A lot of the latest goings on with like Bitcoin and all of them now, taking a page out of Texit's book and saying, hey, you can have somebody else mine the coins for you. Yes, you can get into these mining centers. I'm like, oh my God, that's the Texit model. Guys, I think this is the real deal. I hope you get involved. Join us with it. We'll educate you along the way. We'll learn it all together. By the way, I've been watching this thing like a hawk. Jason will tell you every day. I'm telling him what's going on with it. At $1.07 here. Once it breaks through $1.10, there's almost like, we talk about silver, there's no resistance. Jason, there's hardly anything after $1.10 in Texas. It breaks $1.10. I think we're going to, just like I remember when it was 55 cents and then all of a sudden, boom, it was 79 cents like overnight. I think another one of those will come, and we keep itching. We keep getting closer and closer and closer to it. So be ready. Hold on to your hats here if you want to get in. The longer you wait, the less coins you're going to have. It's just that simple. 800-951-0592. Jason has literally, every couple of weeks, a class up there in Colorado. Patriot phone. Listen, you got questions. If something's not right, call us. We'll walk you through. Anybody here in Phoenix, come in. We'll help you. Heck, I had a guy come in, brought his laptop. Got them all straightened out. We're here to help you get through it with us. I think this thing's going to be a home run. I couldn't believe I nearly fell out of my chair when I was reading their advertising. Hey, become a minor without being a minor. I'm like, wait a minute. That's what Texit does. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Hey, we got one more day.